Hello! Sorry, I gotta put on my chapstick. There have been some streams that I noticed that I didn't do my lip balm or chapstick or what have you, and wasn't a pleasant sight. So I've tried to keep it close to my desk when I stream, and it's one of those things on my checkbox of like, oh yeah, I gotta remember to do that before I start streaming, and oftentimes I forget. And I just remembered right before it kicked in that I knew I was going to be live. And then I had a coughing fit, so I had to run and get a cough drop. Still getting over my cough. But anyway, I'm here. I'm alive. And we made it. Wednesday, we made it. I'm glad all of you guys are here. I noticed this morning, I guess it was the first stream was Shant's that I noticed. But I saw Shant was streaming, and then I saw that Shelby was streaming, and then I think K-pop is streaming at 4 soon. A bunch of the normal other streamers in like CG streamers, some are streaming. Like I think Aaron Lepresti is streaming, I think. Or no, maybe it's Graham Nolan. I don't know. One of those guys is streaming. Anyway, I just saw a bunch of live streams right now, and I was like, oh, geez, crowded market. But, it is Wednesday, so that could be part of it. Also, it could just be people just got it on their brains to stream today. So I was a little hesitant. I was like, is it going to just be, I don't want to be eking my way in there and most of my audience would be divided by a bunch of other streams. But then when I hit live, or when I hit that I was scheduling my stream, Mark popped in there. Mark. And gave me a good encouraging word to start off. And that just gave me a little boost, Mark. It it made me go, no, we should stream today. It would be great. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. There's some good stuff. I made it to the store earlier this morning. I've got a little different schedule for summertime, particularly with my kids and all that. I'm just getting them to where they need to get in the summer. So I just so happened to be near one of the shops, Comics Experience, this morning. So I swung by there earlier. Actually, when Zoe was opening the doors, I was right there, which was kind of funny, kind of not, kind of desperate looking maybe. She was like, why are you here right when I'm opening the doors? But it was cool because, I was first one in and got to grab my books, browse a little bit, and get home. And there's quite a few books that I picked up today, so I'll be talking about those today. But like I said, it was really good, Mark, for you to pop in and say that you were needing something positive, and I hope that this will be it for you, or one of the things that will give you a positive feeling today. So welcome, everyone. And John's off on his walk. Hopefully he doesn't get mugged or accosted or step into quicksand. I just saw a news article the other day that somebody was walking on the beach with his wife and she literally stepped into quicksand, which I thought only happened in the movies. But yeah, I think next thing she knew, she was like up to her waist in quicksand, which sounds really frightening. And I don't know where in the world something like that would happen. I'm assuming a beach. I don't know, a creek. I don't know. I've never experienced quicksand myself. So yeah, that was a little frightening. Be safe, John. I was telling him don't talk to mountain lions. Comrade Sammy's here, and I've seen all you guys all earlier today. Most of you guys, and there's different streams like Shant's stream. Well, that was the only one I was in live. I watched a good chunk of Shelby's stream after it was already done. But yeah, it was good to see Shant. I know Shant's busy with end of the year stuff as well. And yeah, it was just great. I haven't been on one of his live streams in a long time. So it was great to just be in the chat and see all of you guys there. And I know Comrade Sammy was there too. So great to see you. And like I said, you're not off your game. You're here. Comrade Sammy said she doesn't want her. Where did she say that? I don't need your participation trophy, Rocky. First is the only way. All right, to each his own. I get it. Got beat today, but glad you're here. Who else is here? Oh yeah, Mark was asking about the video. Yeah, that was the video. That's the first time it's in rotation. The Cartoon Art Museum video, which I've been getting really good response. The Cartoon Art Museum themselves reposted that on X, and one of their, excuse me, one of their, I don't know, what is his title? Chairman or something of the Cartoon Art Museum. He reposted it. I actually met him when I went there. His name's Andrew, and he reposted it. So got a few more eyeballs on that video. Is great, and a lot of people responding to that. So it's awesome. So yeah, this was the first time I put it in rotation in my opening videos. But that was the Rocketeer exhibit there, and I do have actually quite a number of Rocketeer things in my collection, which I could pull out if we need stuff to talk about today, Mark. One of my favorite things is I have this artist edition of the Rocketeer, which is pretty much like looking at the original artwork. And so that's really amazing. It's one of my favorite artist edition books. And the craft that Dave Stevens puts into that book and into specifically like the ink work is mind-blowing. So it's really cool to see that in the at size and really good scans of that. Awesome ones here, just in time, all the time, always here. Maybe pulling some chicken today, who knows? Cooking. We're getting to that cooking time for you, all you East Coasters. So maybe that's the case, who knows? Awesome one says, too much time on our hands. Yeah, I'm amazed you guys are all able to jump into so many different streams. I don't know how you do it. I'm trying to like make sure I carry my like AirPods with me when I go out, because sometimes I can listen to streams, whatever, if I'm running an errand or something like that. But yeah, I don't know how you guys commit to it. These streams are at least 2 to 3 hours long, and then you're on to the next one. So it's pretty amazing. Mark says, I remember the Conan-like artwork. Yeah, that was incredible. That was the Filipino artists. I think Alcala was one of them. There was another guy, Nestor Redondo. But yeah, those guys, I'm always amazed at the amount of craft that is just on a page in a book that costs, well, now on average, excuse me, $3-4. But it's really like, just even actually watching Shelby's stream, like he had this great tip. He was saying, I guess to keep yourself on track when you're inking, he was saying, give yourself like an hour a panel, like a limit of an hour a panel. And he kind of did that while he was streaming, but he cranked out like four-ish panels live. And the amount of craft that goes into that, and then it's just on to the next one, was like mind-blowing. So in particular, those pages that were at the Cartoon Art Museum, whew, I think seeing them behind glass, framed on the wall, that gives you a second to pause as opposed to just printed on in a comic book. Not really. I'm just blowing off other stuff I should be doing, I guess so. It's the age of multitasking. I know my son does this all the time. He'll be like doing something, homework, watching a stream of somebody else doing something, and then like talking to his friend on FaceTime at the same time. I don't know how to do it. I definitely realize, especially as I've gotten older, I'm not a multitasker. I'm not built to be a multitasker. I can multitask, but I'm not built to be one. So it's really hard for me to like, I think I like being focused on one thing, and I do really well when I focus on one thing. And if I have multiple things going on at the same time, I used to do this all the time when we would work, like in my studio. The cool thing was like, hey, we can do anything we want. Let's put on Star Wars and watch it while we're working. And that's cool. I've seen Star Wars a million times. I know what's going to happen. It's not like I'm surprised by the show or whatever's going on in the plot at any moment. pretty much have it memorized. But every time we would turn that on in the office, I would just sit there and watch it, and I just stare at it, and I wouldn't get any work done. And after a certain point, I was like, guys, I can't do this, and I just can't. At least maybe visually, I can't multitask. I can listen to music and work. Depends on the kind of music. Musicals. But yeah, multitasking is not my thing. So with streams, sometimes you can listen to certain streams, but I'd also like to watch. Yeah, it depends on the stream. Awesome One says, after Shantz and Shelby's stream, was watching Wes Game's stream of Castlevania, then just got back from Starbucks and Aldi. Nice. So you saw both of those streams too. I stumbled across, oh my gosh, what is the name of that streamer? My son told me. Oh, Kai Cenat. So I guess he's one of the #1 popular streamers on Twitch and YouTube or something like that. And he was having a 24-hour stream with Kevin Hart, the comedian. And these are all like, I mean, I know Kevin Hart, but like all these YouTube celebrity names, influencer names were all foreign to me. But my son was like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so and so-and-so. Oh, Drewski, I guess, was another one. Anyway, it was just this stream. It wasn't even filmed that well. It looked like, just a camera set up, and they were just eating and talking and like insulting one another. But it was, I watched maybe about half an hour, and they're just joking with each other and staring at the chat and talking to the chat and eating junk food. And then as they had like an outhouse, not an outhouse, like a, like an outhouse, like a porta potty, like set up in this room. And so sometimes they would go to the bathroom, and then like, as they were talking, like this cook came out and they were setting up table. Like, it was crazy. It was like it looked like a college dorm room. And there were just like 20,000 people watching them do this. And I just didn't understand it. I was like, I don't get it. My son's like, why are you watching Kai Cenat? Like, why are you watching that guy? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know why I'm watching him, but I am. It was really weird. Comrade Sammy says, I feel like we've come full circle, Rocky. Start out coughing and eating cough drops on stream, and now he is once again coughing. Yep. This is a cough. I mentioned this, I think, in the previous stream, but once I get a cough, it'll last me a couple months, 2 or 3 months. So get used to it, guys. I try and like drink my cough medicine before stream and stock up on cough drops really close to me, and my water and all that kind of stuff. But this is just how it's going to be. My voice is going to be a little bit more gravelly. Just because this is what happens to me when I get my cough. Mark says, I missed part of Sean's stream working. Unfortunately, no boat time last few days. Excuse me. Oh, bummer. My parents are retired. They're in Florida, Central Florida, and they're saying how it's super hot there. So I'm wondering is that why you're not able to take your boat out, Mark? Because they said it's just like unbearably hot right now. Which I'm glad it's not. It's very nice here, very pleasant, mid-60s. But I don't have a boat. Mark, how did you? Excuse me. How did you butt dial? I must have missed that. Simply Green, just wondering. Butt dial? I did. My phone. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. What happened? I must have missed this. Oh my gosh. You guys are hilarious. Mark posted this stream on X. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I always wonder, like, you have your own view. Let me look on it right now. Like, you have your own viewership on X. And I do have it streamed both places. But I wonder, like, right now it says, what does it say? I don't know. How many views? Oh, it says 12 views right now. So does that mean 12 people are viewing it on X? Or is it just like people happen to have their feed on. 12 people have their feed on, and it's on. So yeah, I don't really know how it has. Oh, I see your repost, Mark. Thank you. Thanks so much. Everything you guys do has been immensely helpful. Just spreading the word and getting people. We are currently at. Where am I? Oh man, too many windows. Currently at 234 subscribers. Do you guys remember? I think most all of you guys that are here, when I was like, I can't wait to get 50 subscribers, or like I was trying to get 50 subscribers, I think by the end of 2023. So being at 234 right now is so bizarre. So bizarre just to see that thing creep up, and it's very rewarding and also just like crazy because 50 seemed like so many at the time when I started. And then the next milestone was like, I think 70 or something, 75 for me, then 100. And so slowly but surely, but it's really crazy. 234. I mean, I think the next big milestone for me will be 250, and then we'll see where that goes. But thank you so much for supporting it and coming and showing up. And I love it. Every time I talk to people about this channel, I talk about all of you guys, every one of you guys by name, that show up regularly and just support and stuff like that. So I'm so grateful and so thankful for that. Awesome one says, I'm making a sandwich from ingredients from Aldi for dinner. Oh, awesome. Okay, no chicken. No, Wes has had his channel nuked 3 or 4 times by YouTube. He used to hang with Nerdrotic before he became famous. Oh, okay. All right. I hate cough drops. Yeah, I get like the huge, like Costco size bag of cough drops because I know I need a lot of them. But then usually by like a quarter of the way in or like halfway in, you get sick of the flavor. So then you have to get 2 ginormous size bags and kind of mix up the flavors. So I'm currently bouncing between menthol and cherry. But it does burn in your mouth after a while. Like it kind of numbs your mouth to any kind of flavor if you eat too many. So Comrade Sammy says, you'll be at 300 in no time. Who knows? We'll see. I know that it's all like exponentially or incrementally, is that the right word? Exponentially, making those milestones. Like even Shant warned me or informed me at the beginning when I started this. He was like, getting to that first 100 is like, it feels like a mountain, then you get to it, and then the next mountain's like 500, and then after 500, 1,000 or whatever. So yeah, but I'm just amazed. I'm really amazed just looking at that number. Who would have ever thought that we would get there? So I love it. I would expect that to drop to like back to 50 every day, but it holds. It definitely holds. So that's great. Oh no, what? What happened? What happened? Am I muted? That's a great question. Comrade Sammy says, how many subs do you have to get super chats? I believe 1,000. I think it's 1,000. I think 500 is a milestone for YouTube, but you also have to have a number of watch hours. It's all these metrics. I don't know. And I think at 500, maybe you can get channel membership. I don't know. I'll look that up. I think 500 is definitely a milestone, and I believe 1,000. No, maybe 500 you can get super chats, and 1,000 is channel members. I don't know. It's all crazy. I'm really toying with the idea of doing some sort of newsletter, like a Substack newsletter or something like that, because what I've seen with that is it keeps content coming out. Not that I have a lot of time to make so much content, but it just seems something like it outside of all the weird algorithm things that happen with YouTube, it kind of puts the control back in your hands of like owning your viewership a little bit. And it allows you to just give them content which they don't necessarily have to pay for. And, it's easier to write some stuff out as opposed to always streaming all the time. So I'm really toying with that idea, thinking about that idea. That is one more thing to add on it, on top of building this channel, on top of creating recorded content or edited content, on top of trying to start working on a comic book and doing that on stream, and what would that look like and how would that all be. So it's a lot. Like, yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot when you, I think what makes it a lot, and I've seen a lot of YouTube creators talk about this, is it's not necessarily the amount of content you put out, which at the beginning it kind of is, like you have to be pretty consistent, but it's also the kind of content you put out and the quality of that content. And as you build your viewership, as you build your audience, the more value that comes out of that content, as opposed to just putting content out there, the more value you bring, the more people will stick with it, right? So that makes a lot of sense to me, and I kind of want to make sure I'm keeping that in mind and not just chasing, always putting something out there just for the sake of putting something out there. But it does help that my particular interests and what I want to share on this YouTube channel happens to come at a weekly clip, which is comic books. So that's nice because it gives me something to talk about most of the time. And like today, if I didn't have new books that came out that I picked up, I'd be like, well, what would I talk about today? So I do have some books that I'm going to pull out here in a second, which gives me something to talk about and share. And then that spins off other conversations. And then we can go into musicals, in the second half of the show. So yeah. Let's see. Awesome one. Do you have a way to reach out to Simply Green? Tell me it was a pocket timeout, or anyone here? Oh, is that what happened? Oh, geez. Weird things happen with our phones. So that huge announcement, totally off topic. I guess Apple just had an event, a WWDC event, and they mentioned all this AI stuff that's being inserted into the Apple ecosystem now. I guess they're pairing up with ChatGPT or OpenAI or whatever, and more AI is going to be put into Apple, which is a little disturbing because I was just talking to a friend earlier, my friend Alan, and I think one of the attractions or the draws of Apple is it's a closed ecosystem, and they're pretty controlling about how secure they keep it. At least that's how they market it to us consumers. So now that they insert in this third-party AI software, it's like, wait a minute, like what's going to happen? And a lot of people are nervous about it. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm a diehard Apple guy through and through, but just hearing that just made me a little nervous. And then I don't know if you guys follow much on like the art tech side of things, but like Adobe has been in the news recently a lot because they just had people found in one of their terms of agreement, basically the way it was written, and I'm not a lawyer, but basically the way that it's written is they say if you use an Adobe product on anything that you use, you are giving Adobe the exclusive rights to use whatever it is that you're working on their product, and they can scrape that for their AI learning, which is crazy because everybody uses Adobe products like Photoshop and Illustrator and all the Adobe Premiere and After Effects, and everybody in the industry uses Adobe's products. So for them to say that is like, wait, so does that mean like if I'm working on Mickey Mouse or I'm working on Star Wars for my job and I'm using an Adobe product, you get to own the right of that artwork? Like that is crazy. So many artists are freaking out. People are saying they're dropping Adobe, and Adobe's kind of been not on the positive side of artists for a couple years now because they went to this subscription model where you pay a monthly fee to use their software. You don't own it anymore. You have to pay this ongoing membership fee, which is kind of sucky. So a lot of people have been jumping ship a little bit, but Adobe has cornered the market for the most part, or monopolized the market for creative software. So it's a little hard to kind of not use any of their products. So yeah, there's that huge hullabaloo with that. and then Apple's announcement. So a lot of people are nervous, and at least I know the animation industry is in turmoil right now. A lot of people are losing their jobs, and all this AI talk is in the air. So it's kind of freaky. Which brings me back to maybe I should just do a newsletter. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So the butt dialing and the pocket timeout, like there's been times where I've just been talking and then my watch will go, oh, I did not understand what you're saying. And I'm like, I didn't ever say anything to you, watch. I didn't say, hey, Siri, I didn't anything, but it was listening to what I was saying and trying to interpret it. So that's creepy. And then we do use some Google products in our house. Like, for example, in our kitchen, we have a little Google, what do you call it? Google speaker. And we use it for like a kitchen timer. And so we'll say, set a timer for 30 seconds. And then the timer will go off and you can just yell anywhere in the house. You can say, stop timer. You don't have to say, hey, Google. You don't have to say, hey, Siri or whatever. You just say, stop timer. And it hears you. So that means it's constantly listening all the time. And I'm sure you guys have seen it where, advertisements will come up on your phone or your desktop about stuff that you were talking about that you didn't do a search on, but it just shows up. It's really creepy. So I have also FaceTimed and butt dialed people, but who knows if it's really your butt dialing it. Maybe it's just trying things out. Long-winded answer, or it wasn't even a question, but long-winded discussion on how creepy butt dialing can be. Mark's music obsession. Let me get back on track. I think it's 500 subs, but not sure. Yeah. It's... Excuse me. Chat and Green made fun of you and forgave you. Oh, geez. Wow, I missed that whole thing. That must have been good. 500 and 1,000 hours. There you go. So yeah, 500 subs, 1,000 hours. I don't even know. I mean, I can look, but I know I'm nowhere near either of those. But who knows? We're working towards it. We are working towards it. When happens when people like Sean and Rocky wrench everyone in their chats. That's the danger, right? We need to put you guys through like a butt dial test and see like how many butt dials do you have in a month? And if you keep it below a certain number, then you can get wrenched. Exactly. A strange combo of random. Yeah, exactly. Like I can't remember. There was one time I think my dad said like, oh yeah, you FaceTimed me and I was like, what? Did I really? And sure enough, he had a missed call that was FaceTime me. But for me to like, however, to get FaceTime on my phone to my dad's phone, it's not like it's like I have a shortcut for it. So it was really weird. I'm sticking with my one review video and some shorter ones for now. That review video is about 6K. There you go. That's awesome. I don't have a video that's 6K. Amazing. But yeah, maybe you can do more reviews. That'd be fun. Cranberry Langers. I don't think Cranberry's in here yet. Is he? You guys tell me. But he's been doing more reviews, which was an awesome. And I saw like he has like cutaway shots now. Like he'll pop up something on screen in the video. It's really cool. It's just fun to see people slowly grow their channels and grow how they do things. So don't give up on it yet, Mark. Punk Waddle, a puppet streamer, says his job is thinking about getting Linux. Oh, okay. There's a lot of puppet streamers. I think you've talked about a couple of puppet streamers, so that's crazy, but awesome. They can't get us in politics, so they're going to get us in our privacy and banking. Yeah, no kidding. It's really, really creepy. You said one day you want to make your own comic. Do you have any idea what that will look like? I'm a sucker for good mystery. Just a suggestion to it. Nice question. Way to keep me on track. Keep me accountable. As far as what it will look like, I'm really leaning towards... So I have a few ideas that I have cooking. They're in the writing concept stage. From what I've seen and kind of what speaks to me, what I want to see my own artwork in. I'm leaning towards a book that is probably going to be black and white. It will definitely be in the noirish kind of sci-fi genre. And it'll be mysterious. Not when you say good mystery, it's not going to be like a well, at least the one idea I'm thinking of. Maybe it's not going to be like the genres I love are those stories that make you go, wait, what? And like you have to go back and reread and kind of re-understand what's going on. They usually has like a twist on reality or a twist on perception. So maybe you would consider that a mystery. So yeah, maybe you might be the right audience for what I'm thinking. So yeah, I'm super excited to try and do that and get into that. I think that I'll be totally honest with you guys. I do have quite a bit of like hangups of like, well, how can I produce this in a way? Part of me is just kind of slapping myself and saying, just do it. So there's trying to find the time to do it. But then there's also the like hang up in my mind of like, how can I do this in a way where I can involve streaming? And I had mentioned months ago about like, oh, I got this new setup of like filming myself working, and I do. But like it's a whole other thing to do that live. Again, which is why I'm so impressed with people like Shelby, or like Shanth, who can actually just draw and chat and talk. It goes back to that. I'm not a multitasker kind of person. But I think I just have to do it. And it's just like this streaming. Like there's certain things about streaming that I'm a little bit more comfortable with now just because I've done it. And if you had told me I would be doing this 5 months ago, I've been like, you're crazy. I would never be able to do that. And now here we are, right? So 234 subscribers later, here we are. So I think you just have to do it. You just have to jump into the deep end a little bit and do it. And that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Emo trash, here you are. So one of the things I wanted to do, a lot of you guys showed up on Monday. When was it? Monday? Today is Wednesday. It was Monday, yeah. When I went to watch that Frank Miller documentary, and I know Emo Trash showed up, Cranberry Landry showed up, Mark's Music Obsession, a lot of you guys showed up. And I didn't even realize that you would. I was just kind of recording it for myself a little bit, live streaming in the attempt to, hopefully some of you guys would show up, but a lot of you showed up, and I'm glad you did. It was kind of a mess a little bit, obviously, because I'm not that comfortable with live streaming with my phone. That was the first time I actually did it. And then I wasn't sure what I could and couldn't do. I didn't think I could live stream the whole documentary, and I wasn't planning on doing it. And actually, I didn't get to read your guys' live chat while I was doing it, because one, I didn't want to be obvious that I was streaming, and two, where the chat window is when you're live streaming on your phone is not, you only have this big of space, so I couldn't really see what you guys are saying. So I went back and watched it with your guys' chat going on. And a few of you were just like, I feel kind of wrong, or like, this feels creepy. So my intent wasn't to break the law or whatever while I was doing it. I just wanted to capture a little bit of that intro, because it was just a one night thing, just one showing. And from my understanding is they were showing it all at the same time across the country just for that one night. And before they showed the show, they had a live stream, which is what I was filming with you guys, of Rosario Dawson asking Frank Miller some questions about the documentary and blah, blah, blah. And then at one point in the stream, they said, oh, they had like a raffle drawing basically. And they said, so if you are in seat G11 and you are in El Paso watching it at this El Paso, Texas, watching at this theater in seat G11, we have a special drawing for you from Frank Miller, which is amazing. But yeah, I didn't get. Actually, I was in seat G4, but not in El Paso. So anyway, just I wanted to capture some of that because I thought that would be kind of cool, and you probably won't ever get to see that online. I'm assuming that the documentary will be available streaming somewhere sometime in the future. So, but anyway, I thought it would just be a cool kind of thing to try out. It was just on a whim. I was like, I wonder if I could stream this. All right, let's just do it. And I just did it while I was on the escalator going into the movie theater. So yeah, I was just psyched that some of you guys showed up, and sorry that the quality. So I was sitting in it was like a recliner chair. I was in the back row, and I could recline my legs up, and then I held my phone up like this and kind of covered the screen with my jacket. So that's why it was like half blurry half of the time. Sometimes it was pointing in the wrong direction. And then I just kept looking down at it a little bit. I didn't want to be so obvious. So it was kind of a mess, but it was fun. It was fun nonetheless. And the documentary was really good. It was really great. It was great because Frank Miller has obviously gone through very, very high highs in his career and very, very low lows. And I've always wondered, like, what happened to that dude? Because he was always this legend, and then he disappeared for a little bit. And then when he came back, he looked a lot older and just kind of hunched over. I mean, you guys saw some pictures of him. It was like, thought he was dying of cancer. I mean, it looked really bad, but apparently he really struggled with alcohol, which they talk about a bit in the documentary. And I think part of it had to do with he didn't know how to handle how huge he got and just kind of numbed the pain a little bit with alcohol. So it was cool. He wasn't shy about talking about it, and they didn't necessarily paint him as this perfect guy. And they even got into some of the political controversy that he got into with his work. But yeah, it was a very, very good documentary. And just watching him work, they had some shots of him drawing and stuff, was really amazing. All right, let's see where else. So Emo Trash is here. I have the listen for feature of Siri off on my phone. Yeah, so I do too. Yeah, I don't know. They're all listening. Emo Trash hanging by a thread, still chilling. Hey, what's up, Shelby? Rocky just swinging by to tap you in the like. Thank you, sir. I just watched your, I didn't get to jump in live, but I just watched your last inking stream, your quote unquote ignore the chat stream, which you actually did a good job of doing that. I have a hard time ignoring the chat. But I was just telling the chat that you are amazing just to watch you work and how disciplined you are. Like, you've got crazy skills, and just to be able to like crank out how you do live stream is unbelievable. So it's really inspiring for me. And I don't know what page you were working on, but it looked great. The panels that you finished up today looked great. So kudos, man. Thanks for stopping by. You gonna rip off Sean's speedball? It's actually spring ball, and no, I wouldn't do that to him. I'm excited to. I hope that I would love to do like a short story for Shant or something with spring ball, because I mean, I was there when he was creating it. I was there in college and stuff when he was working on that, and afterwards. So it's spring ball's near and dear to my heart. I heard noir and was kind of sold. Nice. Yes. So yes, there is noir. It is gonna have noir in it then. Chamomile teal is always. Oh, I don't like chamomile. Chamomile tastes like water soaked in wood. I don't like it. I like a good Earl Grey. I mean, it's got caffeine, but I like good Earl Grey, good mint tea. Rooibos. Have you guys heard of that tea? I think it's a red tea. Really good. I don't like chamomile. You talk while going through your comic books. That's Yeah, sort of. Thank you. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Sort of. Yeah, I guess so. If you ever do go the criminal route, no, I am 100% nice. Yeah, I'm kind of like a by the books guy. I don't break the rules that much. But in that case, I was like, this could be pretty cool. So it was what it is. It was kind of a mess, but it was what it is. Our Ghana Prince giving away just sent. Phil said he knows some people in the film personally. That's awesome. Yeah, they had some great guests. They had I mean, it's just amazing to see the influence that Frank Miller had. They had huge giants in that documentary, right? So they had like Neil Adams has since passed away, but he was there. They had John Romita Jr., Jim Lee, Paul Pope, phenomenal artist. Brian Azzarello, Jock, Walt Simonson. Oh my gosh. Like all these people that at different points of Frank Miller's career, he crossed paths with. So it was just really cool. They had, Serpieri, these European artists, Milo Manara, like phenomenal. Some Japanese artists too. So yeah, they kind of followed Frank. It was like over the course of like, I think it seemed like it was filmed like 2017, 2018. And he was going to these different conventions and they were just, yeah, filming him at the conventions and then interviewing the people. And it was really cool. So I wonder who it was that Phil Diaz knows on that documentary. Shelby drew a hand. He drew more than a hand. He did draw a hand. Hey, Mr. Monkey Boy, 1969. I've got a bande dessinée I was thinking of pulling out just for the heck of it if you showed up, so maybe I will. It's not bad if you put creamer in it. In the chamomile? Really? Yeah, I don't know. Everybody says it's a good like nighttime tea, but I just don't like the flavor of chamomile. I think Shelby quit streaming when I said I'm watching Sean. You're always stirring up the pot. I don't know if I've ever had chamomile or not. Emo Trash says, always open to try new things. Kind of basic though. Tend to stick with black and green tea. I don't like green tea. I'm not a big like matcha green tea person. That also tastes a little like wood-like or something. Black tea, yeah, for sure. Earl Grey is great. That's one of my favorites. English breakfast, I love. Rooibos, try rooibos. If you like, it's kind of sweet. I like it. All right. Earl Grey is the only good nighttime tea. There you go. But Earl Grey has caffeine, right? Doesn't it? It's so good though. I like it. I've tasted Earl Grey ice cream. It's just got a nice, unique flavor. 16-ounce Earl Grey tea with 2 packets of honey. But yeah, it doesn't have caffeine, Shelby. That's why I don't know people drink Earl Grey at night so much. Oolong. Oolong is good. I do like oolong. Rose tea is pretty good too. Yeah, I do like oolong. That one has a nice flavor to it. Picard saying tea Earl Grey hot. Earl Grey always feels like a very, very British kind of tea. Most Earl Grey is without caffeine. Really? Huh, okay. I didn't know that. Some people are really affected by any kind of caffeine. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it depends. It depends for me. I'm not super sensitive to caffeine, but at the same time, I'm also not numb to it. Like there are times where I'll like drink a cup of tea at night. And I'm like, yeah, it should be fine. And then I'm up at like 2 a.m. Emo Trash says, I can go to bed on caffeine. It doesn't really do much for me. That's the typical college metabolism right there. All right, let's get into let's talk about some of the books that I picked up today, which it's fun. Some of the usuals that I have been picking up. Ghost Machine, man, these guys are for sure, they are cranking it out at a schedule. And everybody I've talked to about these books has been super impressed at the one level of quality that they've been putting out and how they've been following a schedule regularly. I don't know how long they can keep it up, but it's been really impressive. They're already out. This is the first number 3 issue out, Geiger number 3. And so they already, and I'm assuming that since Geiger number 3, this is usually the first one to come out, but between Geiger, Redcoat, and Rook Exodus, I'm assuming next week is going to be one of the next books, and then the following week is going to be the third book. So it's pretty awesome. Like, I think however they planned this out has been great and has been really keeping me engaged as a viewer. The monsters were just required to survive the school schedule because that is a whole different beast. The monsters. Oh, wait, I missed something here. Okay. Thai tea from any Thai restaurant is the best. Oh, Thai tea is so good. I love Thai tea. But it's basically, there's a lot of sugar in it. I'm down with sweetened chai. Chai's good. I do. Chai does have a lot of caffeine. That is something if I drink late at night, will keep me up. So that's a good call. I usually drink chamomile with melatonin for sleep. Yeah, a lot of people always recommend chamomile for sleeping. The monsters were just required to survive this. That is a whole different ways. In school, I drank a whole 12-pack of Coke. I shook all night long. I wonder why. Why is that? That might, I don't know. Maybe it was the weather. The Walking Nuclear Waste. Love to see it. Yeah, I think you're talking about Geiger. Third printing of Rook and Redcoat are coming. Wild that they are selling out like this. It's pretty incredible. I think, all these creators have huge reputations already to start. And then their stories are really good for each one of the book. I'd mentioned that Jeff Johns is writing all 3. They're really good. They're really fun. They're very different. Great characters. And then the artwork is top notch. So, that's a pretty killer combo for a new imprint. And then whoever is on their production side as far as keeping them on task, keeping them coming out regularly. That's pretty cool. So anyway, this is Geiger number 1. I am not going to do a poll today, guys. I love the poll. I really do. It's fun. But I'm upset with myself that I haven't had a chance to record that Darwin Cook video yet. So I'm not going to pile in another thing and commit to another thing when I still haven't finished that other one. So I've got to finish that video and do that video. And then maybe we'll do another poll, or I got to figure out another thing to poll about just because I love the poll. But anyway, you'll get to see the book here for you guys who are interested in what I pick up. You'll get to see the book here. One thing I'll show is, this is kind of cool. Comics Experience, which is the comic store that I went to today, they have put out this flyer once a month. They also have it online, but they kind of go over, it's really cute. They could go over each book. They summarize each book that's coming out the following month, and then you check which you want on your pull list. Now, it's a little archaic in that it's still on paper. I just email them and say, hey, I want to put this in my box or whatever, if there is a particular book that I want. But there's something about getting this like little newsletter that's like printed on color Xerox paper. That's kind of fun. It's kind of like a zine a little bit. I don't know. It's really cool. And just the fact that they take the time to do it. And it gives you a nice little like summary of the upcoming stuff. So yeah, I got this today. And then that kind of helps keep you on top of the new books. Unfinished Change keeps Shelby up at night. Speaking of what he's drawing or inking. Yeah, I think he talked about that today, of chains, Now they are the bane of his existence. Let me see. Controls. Down? No, up. Oh, that's not it. Trying to, oh, maybe zoom. Let me get in a little closer here. All right, there we go. So yeah, this Geiger's just he's walking kind of through the wasteland, and he's got this tag-along dude who wants to be like his sidekick a little bit, and then he has this two-headed dog also that he's journeying through. But it's kind of pulpy the way that they set up these stories, or each chapter, each issue. And it looks like he's going into a library today. But it's funny, the relationship is really funny. He's a little bit this like comedic relief, and it pisses off Geiger. Geiger doesn't really want him to be following him around, but he also realizes he brings some value to them. So yeah, it's fun. Look at that cute little doggy, two-headed doggy. But yeah, it doesn't even, I mean, it doesn't feel like they're like skimping on the artwork either, as far as what Gary Frank is drawing in this particular thing. It's not like he's skimping on backgrounds or characters or like simplifying things overly just to get out the monthly book. Like I'm really curious to see how much they've banked, whether these are going to be ongoing or maybe they're like 5-6 issue arcs or something, and they'll take a break and then move on to the next part of the universe. It isn't I don't think it's a full 22 page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Oh, it's a full 22 page. I was only saying that because I know they have a lot of ads in the back of their book. But it's a full 22 page story. So yeah, I'm wondering, so here is going to be the next issues. Probably Redcoat's going to come out next week, and then Rook Exodus. And then they have all these titles, which I'm not as excited about, but I'm guessing if they hit the end of whatever arc or series, unless they're ongoing, which would be amazing, then they'll probably kick in with these guys. But I just noticed here at the beginning, they're tying in Junkyard Joe into this storyline, into this particular story. Shelby says, Geiger is the best book they have. Incredible lettering on it too. Huh, wow. I love that you're talking about their lettering. I'm basing all my own books' lettering style on Geiger. Really? The letterer is Rob Leigh, Leigh. That's funny that not funny, but interesting that that would really stand out to you. That's great. Yeah, good stuff. Good lettering. Now that you say it, the lettering is good. But I do notice, obviously, the artwork and the coloring. I really love Brad Anderson's color on all the Ghost Machine books. I think he's doing a great job. Tai Chi. Spider-Verse calling people out on their ignorance. Miles was right to apologize. I missed that. Sorry. Currently it's water because I honestly don't remember the last time I drank that. I might have one energy drink. I never got into the energy drink thing. Here we go. This is the expert right here. Ghost Monster is the most Mark Miller thing on shelves that isn't Miller. Ghost Monster. Oh, Ghost Machine, you mean? I thought you were talking about Monster energy drinks. That's why I said here comes the expert. Ghost Machine is the most Mark Miller thing on shelves that isn't Miller. I agree. Yeah, it's good. There you go, Ghost Machine. Yeah, it's great. And Mark Miller, I mean, he's kind of doing his own thing. He's been building up his YouTube channel too. He's kind of coming out with more consistent stuff. He did a roundtable recently, which I have to watch yet, where there was a few creators that he talked to. Like his camera angle is better, the lighting is better. And then he just announced all these books that he's going to be releasing soon. So another creator that has been kind of kicking butt and obviously has the reputation and the runway to do that. But I love that he's kind of moving more into pushing all of his Millerverse independent stuff. I think he's coming out with a new, oh gosh, what was the name of that book? Why did I just blank on it? Wasn't it Ambassadors? It wasn't, oh my gosh, why did I just blank on that? Hang on a second, this is bothering now. Nemesis. Yeah, he's coming out with a new Nemesis soon. I think in July, summer. So I love the treatment here. This is totally like pulpy kind of advertisement for it. Yeah, and then they're talking about Junkyard Joe here. So cool. This Geiger number 3 came out. Pretty cool. Xbox 360 man, he turns on, and if he overloads the red ring, that's actually a cool idea. I like that. That could be right up there with Atari Force, Xbox 360 man. The mention of Redcoat intrigues me yet again, given that I just watched Hamilton again yesterday. Oh, did you watch that on Disney Plus? Hamilton? It's good stuff. Good stuff. It's one thing to watch. It's funny because the theater production, it's one thing to watch. I was trying to explain this to my kids because they filmed it. I'm assuming the thing you watched was the production that they filmed. And then watching it on stage is a totally different experience because you're seeing the whole stage all the time. So even if there's something going on in the corner or you're just seeing that whole, you're absorbing the whole stage experience the entire time. Well, when you film a stage something, like they do that a lot, they film stage productions. The camera controls what you see, right? They'll either cut in close, cut into a character's face or whatever. So it's a totally different experience to watch Hamilton on stage versus watching it, the filmed version. Still good, but totally different experience. But I know you've mentioned that before, Emo Trash, that you like history. So maybe I should put that in my book, my future book. Politician rappers, yo, yo, yo. Miller is 5 years ahead of what he's publishing writing-wise. He said he's always been ahead, but can be a challenge because it may not go with current trends when it's released. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, his stuff though. I mean, I'm just thinking like a lot of his stuff feels very current. So he's got his finger on the pulse of like what works, mainstream culture, and kind of injecting that. So that's amazing. Yeah, that guy's a workhorse. Amazing. I do illegal things. I part it. It's fun. It's funny. We do have. Wow. We do subscribe to Disney Plus. But it's so different now than it was when it first came out. Disney Plus before it was like, oh, all the classic Disney movies and then all the Pixar movies and Star Wars. Like, wow, how can you go wrong? And now it's like the whole ABC or whatever, I don't know, all that's underneath their banner, but like I mean, I saw like The Omen and like all these really dark things on Disney Plus. I'm like, wow, this has gone south really fast. And I understand they're just trying to broaden the audience, but it's really funny because it's like so different. Before I was like, yeah, you could put on Disney Plus and you can worry about, for the most part, you didn't have to worry about anything being like, oh, is this okay for my kids to watch? But now it's just like it's like any other streaming channel. It's like a free for all. So Transformers has the awesome thing about this is I was so gung ho about this series when it came out. Daniel Warren Johnson, another creator who is kicking butt. Maybe he's kicking butts. But another creator who is, I'm just amazed at his career and just how prolific he is, and he's kind of shifting into this. He's written a lot in the past. Usually he's the artist of it, but he's shifting more into like writing stuff on his own and having another artist do it, which is great. And I really loved the first issues that he did of Transformers where he's writing and drawing it. I had mentioned here before on stream that I was like, oh, who could fill his shoes? And I was like, is it going to be as good as Daniel Warren Johnson? But this guy, Jorge Corona, which I have another book of his too, Aint No Grave, #2 came out as well. Another artist that is doing a fantastic job. And he's holding his own. I think he's done 2 issues so far of Transformers. And it's awesome. It's really good. So my friend Lang, who has been on chat before on this stream, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm going to start reading Transformers because you talk about it on your stream and we'll see. But he's hooked now. After he read the first issue, he's totally hooked. So booyah. Fandom works. It's really fun. Some people don't like Transformers at all. But I really love it. I think it's just fun. It's a great mix of serious and campy, like kid and adult. Really nice mix of it at the way that Daniel Warren Johnson's writing it. You don't have to know all of the like Cybertron Transformers lore to understand what's going on. And it's very human stories going on in between it. And then the artwork's great. It's really fun. I don't know. Definitely Daniel Warren Johnson did this. I haven't noticed it as much with Jorge Corona's art. But he did this funny thing where half the time that the robots were transforming, he'd show them in these weird, awkward midpoints of them transforming. And it felt like you were staring at your toys. Like you trying to like forcefully transform your own toys. So it was funny. It was like a really cool, it didn't look cool. It just looked kind of awkward as a transforming robot would be. And then Mike Spicer, I think he's the colorist, and I feel like he's helped to really keep Jorge Corona's artwork, which is great, in the same world as Daniel Warren Johnson. They definitely have similarities to how they're approaching the Transformers, but Spicer's colors kind of seal the deal. Really fun stuff. Emotress says, the feds can come for me. We ain't ratting you out, Emotress. You're safe here. It's a safe space for your pirating needs. Is your boyfriend a theater major, Emo? Kinda, not really. Because you were talking about showing him Greatest Showman last time, so just wondering. If he was a full-blown theater kid, I would not have fallen. He did take choir, though. Nice. Awesome One says, I like many movies that people dislike. Like what? Give me a couple. Give me your top 3 movies that you like that people don't like. The Gun Dude. Me and my brother both got him as kid for Christmas. Shockwave? This one? I'm assuming you're talking about Shockwave. Yeah, he is the new leader right now. He basically like kicked Starscream's butt. And I'm assuming Megatron is coming back. He showed up in the Energon universe this free comic book day issue that they released, he showed up. So I'm sure they're building up to a big entrance for him. This Beachcomber. That's cool. Yeah. It's fun. Transformers is really fun. I've never really been into Transformers as a comic. Not really. And I know there's been a lot of Transformers. Even like they had a Jay Lee miniseries that came out. It was like Transformers and G.I. Joe. And I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And when I read the first few issues, I was like, oh, yeah, it's okay. But I really love this take. So I'm in. This is on my regular pull list. Oh, this is cool. This came out. This has been doing incredible on Kickstarter. This G.I. Joe Real American Hero Compendium, which is collecting every single issue that has come out. I don't know how many issues there are, but look how thick these books are. I think you can buy one set for like $300, I want to say. But they're last I checked, their Kickstarter campaign was almost at $2 million. So pretty crazy, pretty awesome. I'm not a big enough fan of G.I. Joe Real American Hero to plunk down that much and or to have the space to hold these down. But maybe Shelby's a big omnibus person. Maybe he would want it. But the cool thing is you can pick either the G.I. Joe version or the Cobra version. That's kind of neat. And they have all these cool extras they're including. This is, a preview for Destro. This hasn't come out yet, June 19th. So next week, I'll flip through it and we'll see. I'm not super excited about this artwork. But who knows? I did not pick up last week. I think Scarlet #1 came out, and I didn't get to go to the store last week. And I didn't pick up Scarlet #1. Actually, I didn't see. I was going to flip through it today, and I didn't see it at the store, at least the one store I went to. And I wasn't too excited about that artwork either. But a lot of reviewers that I've seen who have read it, say that it's really good. So maybe I should take a look at it. All right, let's see where we are. Along with that, Gun Dude, we also got Care Bear Cousins. Nice. Two opposite ends of the spectrum. John's back. Recap all I missed. You didn't miss much, John. I'm just going over some books. I was talking a little bit about the Frank Miller documentary that you guys saw me try and live stream a little bit of at the theater itself. And I will say it was at a tiny theater. Going back to that a little bit. It was at a tiny theater. But it was full. I mean, all the seats were taken. And I was surprised by that. Because who goes to see a documentary about Frank Miller for just one night? Like, what kind of people do that? And there was a lot of people there. It was all packed. And I was almost like, hey, you guys want to talk comics afterwards? Because they were all obviously into comics. So it was kind of cool. Cool to see people show up for that. Live Dragon Ball Z, live Avatar cartoon movie. Oh, those are the ones you liked. I didn't see either of those. The one movie that I saw that I was like, this is going to be horrible along these lines, that it wasn't so bad, was the Power Rangers movie. I saw that. The most recent one. I was like, this is going to be really bad. But then when I watched it, I was like, it wasn't so bad. So yeah. John, Rocky is now mayor. I am. And my first order of business is to make Wednesday the official I mean, it's already kind of New Comic Book Day. We're going to make it an official holiday every Wednesday and free comics for everyone. The most I've been invested in Transformers was the early 2000s cartoon. Wow, I don't even know which one that was. Because I was watching the 80s cartoon. That one was my favorite. That and the movie. I don't think I watched the 2000s cartoon. I think I know some people that worked on that though, but yeah, I don't even think I even watched that one. Transformers G.I. Joe was a mini put out by my old roommate. Oh, right. Wow, you were roommates with Pat Lee? Dreamwave, that's right. Those guys were coloring books like really cool and like differently. Like they kind of had this anime influence to it. Dark run of books, but kind of cool to see Jay draw. That's cool. Neat story. Yeah, I wasn't into it. Truth be told, like I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And then when I saw it, I was like, it's okay. So I myself was shocked that I really enjoy this Transformers book. Beast Wars turned me off to Transformers as a kid. Yeah, I wasn't in Beast Wars. That was after my time. Oh, hey, John. Didn't see you there. Dang. Comrade Sammy dropping some shade. John. Let's see. John still thinks he's in Gothic's chat. Dang, John again. Have we met before? Don't think so. You know what? I just realized that I need to get that Chat Ninja sound. That required a Chat Ninja cut sound right there, John. Cut deep. Chat Ninja head fake. Just juked you. I thought it was a movie about Frank Miller. Frank Miller. It was a movie about Frank Miller. Is that what you're talking about? It was. It was a documentary about Frank Miller. It was really good. I have not watched The Spirit. He directed The Spirit, and I didn't watch it. That didn't look good, but maybe I should check it out. Oh my gosh. What are you talking about? Oh gosh. I'm going to start talking about comics here because you guys are throwing me off now. John, what is it with you? Okay. No, really. I didn't see him there. Okay. Maybe I'm starting something that wasn't there. Okay, Aint No Grave. So the first Aint No Grave, I did a YouTube short on it, and it's actually really good. It's a really good story, and the artwork. Jorge Corona is amazing. I had mentioned this before, and you can see it in his artwork. He's got this Euro flavor to his stuff, but very, very great artist. And the great thing he did in the first issue, and it looks like he's doing this in the second issue too, is he really captured like the Western vistas, this like wide expanse world, beautiful shots of like, you know, the desert and like this kind of stuff. So it's great. This book looks like more of the same. And the story is this girl, the main female character. She used to be this like tough, I don't know if she was a villain, not totally clear, but just a tough character. And she got domesticated. She fell in love with this guy. They had a family, and stopped doing what she was doing. I guess she was a bad guy, probably a bank robber or something, or train robber. Had this life, built this family, and then they got taken from her. They're not clear how they were yet, but they were either they got killed or something. And so now she's back to try and get her family back, and the way that she's going to do it is she's trying to find death, to kill death. So not like a super original story, but it's a cool setup, and who doesn't love westerns? This kind of fantasy western. This is amazing. Yeah, here's her family here. But beautiful colors, really colorful, really bold, and very letterboxy, big, wide world feel to their stuff. His stuff. I love these. I love these pages that don't have much dialogue. Feels very Western. It's cool. And yeah, this is written by Scotty Young. Scotty Young is another creator who's really carved a space for himself in comics with his I Hate Fairyland series. I mean, he's been doing that for a long time, that he's been writing and drawing. And then Middle West, which I haven't read. I'm planning on trying to find that at my library to try and read that. One book that I did pick up recently, I don't know if you guys, here's Scotty Young stuff. And he does like prints, and he has a active YouTube channel. I think his wife helps him out with stuff that he does. So it seems like he's built his own kind of brand, which is great. It's really cool to see. And then obviously now it's just writing a lot of cool stuff. It's fun. Great team. And this is the same team that was on Middle West, but I don't feel like Jorge Corona's artwork was this good in Middle West. He's definitely evolved as an artist and gotten better. What I did pick up recently from my comic book store, my library, was this. Have any of you guys read this Oblivion song? I just started this last night, but this is the same team as Void Rivals, which is the Robert Kirkman Transformers Energon Universe prequel. I don't know if you could call it a prequel, kind of a prequel, but it's the same team. This is the same artist, and Robert Kirkman's writing this. And it's cool. It's a really cool story. Like I said, I've only read maybe the first 20 pages or something that I started last night. But look at that artwork. It's fun. And he's actually a lot more loose now on Void Rivals, but I really love the colors on this. His monster designs are awesome, and definitely draws like a sci-fi world stuff. Really good. So there's multiple volumes of this out, and the premise is I feel like the premise, from what I know, it seems like a bunch of people died, and this guy, they ended up, whether it's heaven or hell or however you want to describe it, they end up there, and some scientists found a way to go to wherever that is and bring them back. And so it's kind of interesting. Like, there's this whole memorial to these people who died during this event, and now as they're being brought back, they're like crossing out their names on the memorial because they're alive. And then there's people that obviously agree with wanting those people back, but other people are like, you're messing with the natural course of life by bringing these people back from death. And then the nice conflict is this dude, who is one of the soldiers, I guess, that goes to bring them back. I guess he's looking for his brother. So that's kind of the driver of why he's doing what he's doing. So it's cool. It's a neat premise. It definitely, I mean, Robert Kirkman's the Walking Dead dude, right? So it feels this like bleak future, loved ones, like, moral wrestling similarities to Walking Dead. And I actually have never read the Walking Dead comic or watched the series because I'm not a big zombies fan, but it's good. This is a good premise, so I'm in. I'm totally in. Here's the setup. Yeah. A decade ago, 300,000 citizens of Philadelphia were suddenly lost in oblivion, and then they're trying to recover them. It's pretty cool. So yeah, check that out. All right, let me catch up here. Head fake expose. You guys. Spirit stunk worse than a skunk. Really? Yeah. That's too bad to hear. I mean, I know that Frank Miller's a huge Eisner fan, Will Eisner fan, and yeah, I wasn't super excited seeing like the stuff, like the trailer when it came out. And it was right off the heels of Sin City coming out, and that was a kind of a big success of like how stylistic it was. And so Spirit kind of looked like Sin City a little bit, but I didn't get good reviews. Maybe I'll watch a few minutes of it and then make my decision. You guys are funny. Dinner's here. John's dinner's here. Not me going back to Google which Transformers cartoon it was specifically. I just remember the main group. Yeah, I know they revamped it in the 2000s, and it was really popular for a while. Was it I guess was it 3D or 2D? I knew some people that worked on the 2D version. It was a lot of the same crew that worked on Teen Titans, and it's like Glenn Murakami, and there was this amazing designer named Derrick Wyatt. Oh, do I have his stuff here? Okay, let me check. I love it. I love it when I can kind of peek through my bookshelves for you guys. Hang on a second. Point. I do have it. That's cool. This got a little damaged. I had a flood. Dealt with some floods in my house several years ago, and a lot of my comics got damaged, which was really sad. And some of the original stuff that I had, like sketchbooks like this, got damaged. So this is a little waterlogged, and I would have tossed it, but I'm like, I can't ever find this again. But anyway, this guy, Derrick Wyatt, was one of the main designers. If it's the series I'm thinking it was, Emo Trash, he worked on a new 2D Transformers series. He's a huge Transformers fan, this guy. And he started off, he's a designer. He was a designer on Teen Titans. And then he was one of the showrunners on Transformers. But this was a sketchbook he came out that I picked up at a con. Derrick Wyatt, actually, he passed away, I think maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Young guy. He passed away suddenly, but he had this very cool, designy, Glenn Murakami influenced. For those of you who remember, I pulled out one of Glenn Murakami's sketchbooks several streams ago. But yeah, he's a great designer. And he was the lead designer on the Transformers because he was such a big fan. And he was also really good. It's so sad to see these warped pages. But here we go. Here's some of his Transformers stuff. Did it look like this? Did the show look like this? I can't remember what it called. Was it called Transformers Prime, maybe? I don't remember. But it's awesome. It's got some Kirby influence in there. Definitely Murakami, Mignola. Yeah, super talented guy. This was 2004. 2004. Westerns, man. I need to read my Wraith of God. Oh, is that the Graham Nolan book? Cool. Yeah, I have not read that book yet. Robots in Disguise. Wait, okay, now I gotta look this up. Robots in Disguise. That was 2015. There's no pictures here. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. No. I don't think this was the Derrick Wyatt series. Was it? Robot in the Sky. Let me see. Theme music, Kevin Kiner. Developed by... No. Yeah. This was not the Derrick Wyatt series. The Derrick Wyatt series... Yeah, he died in 2021. Oh, I guess it was just called Transformers Animated. Yeah. If you look up Transformers, I'll screen share in a second. It was cool. It kind of had a cool look to it. It skewed a little young. Definitely felt like it got like the characters got pumped into the Teen Titans filter. But I thought it looked cool. That's such a tiny image. Let me see. I'll screen share here. Screen share. There it is. So, yeah, it kind of looked like that. Oh, wait. I can't watch a full episode. I'm going to get killed. Not killed, but you know. Yeah, you guys can see. So it definitely had like a little bit of a kiddie feel to it, but it was cute. It was cute, and the designs were cool. All sorts of different. Oh my gosh, I hate screen rants. Screen rants. Yeah, definitely feel like the Teen Titans-esque version of Transformers. But it's nice because he was a huge fan of the show, and you could tell that he really loved. He really loved it. All right. Enough of that sidetrack. Emo trash. Oh. Thanks for making me feel really old. I was born in 2004. Oh my gosh, emo trash. I mean, I should have figured, right? You're in college. Oh my gosh, 2004. Ugh. You're a baby. I have Oblivion song. It's about a bomb opens another dimension that mimics Earth full of monsters. Oh, okay. Do you like it? I like it so far. Same team as Void Rivals. I remember it being on really early in the morning because I mostly caught it when I was waiting for time to catch the bus in the morning. That's always the best. I miss those, like, those moments. Like, I would come home and at 3, it was either 3 o'clock or 3:30, like, Batman the Animated Series would come on. And I knew I had to be, like, in front of the TV right when that happened. So I would rush home, whatever I had to do, to watch that show. And it's so different now. Our kids watch content like whenever they want. There's no set schedule, and so you miss out on that anticipation a little bit of it. And usually the content they watch, they can watch a whole bunch of it all at once, as opposed to like waiting on a weekly basis. So yeah, I kind of love it that comics still come out on a weekly basis. It gives you that like anticipation of, oh, what's the next moment in that story. Eating while I watch, and yes, it is yummy. Lasagna, yum. We only had cartoons on Saturday, and sometimes it's true. Saturday was it. Yeah, that was it. I would wake up really early and watch my shows early. And then on occasion, I remember one of the shows I used to watch religiously was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And then every now and then you'd be able to catch like some special episode or some one shot. Like that's how I saw Pride of the X-Men. I remember them advertising that. And then they showed, oh, before this episode of Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends, you're going to get to see this X-Men animated thing. And it was so exciting. They don't do that anymore. Just in time for Rocky to leave. I'm still here. Rigatoni here. Pasta's good. I honestly don't remember watching a whole lot of cartoons on weekends as a kid. See, because you're in the 2000s. What generation are you part of? Are you millennial? Oh man, that's just depressing. No, it's great. It's great. You've got your whole life to live. It's great. It's depressing for us old guys. Stop licking doorknobs. Cough, cough. Yep. Fishing, emo. Robin, Gizmo. When's the last time Shelby did an original character? Ooh, that's a question you have to ask Shelby. Yeah, Shelby, come on out with your original book. I can't wait for that. Oh, that's the Transformers I didn't like. Oh, someone says. Vampire Spidey. Yeah, let's talk about this. No Vampire Miles. I don't know. Is this the Spider-Man? Sorry, I haven't totally tried. I'm only reading Blood Hunt. I'm not reading all the secondary books, which is probably bad. But to be honest, I'm just keeping up with this just because I love the art. I love Pepe Larraz's stuff. And I've also bought into the gimmick of one explicit version and one regular version, which I'll flip through here. We did this before in another stream of what's the difference. And actually, to be totally transparent, I looked through these books before stream, and I don't know if I needed to buy both of them. I'm going to put the explicit one on the right. Because what is different between these two books isn't that dramatic in this issue, in issue 3. So let's check it out. I just remember the art style having a similar vibe to Teen Titans. Yeah, that might have been the one we just talked about. Grandpa Rocky. I've mentioned that I only turned 20. Yeah, don't remind me. Don't remind me. I don't even remember what I was doing when I turned 20. I was definitely not thinking of me in my mid-40s on YouTube. That's for sure. Yep. There's a lot. Oblivion Son's a lot. Yeah, I think they have at least 2 volumes. So I don't know how many issues is in that first volume. Okay, let's look at Blood Hunt 3 and then I'll catch up more with the chat. So this one is the quote-unquote regular version, and then this one is the explicit version. Explicit version is another $1 more expensive. The thing I do like about it is it's not like they're just adding extra blood or like extra body parts flying, which they do. But there are some totally new panels, which is kind of cool for the difference between the two. And there's also some new pages, like totally new pages. So I think that's kind of worth it to buy the 2 versions. And for issues 1 and 2, they've done that. But this one, there's a lot of talky going on, and it's not like they can all of a sudden make it bloody. So it's pretty much identical here. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Yeah. So yeah, this is identical. It's a cool Scarlet Witch though. And it was revealed in the first issue that Blade was kind of behind all this. There's Miles Morales. Vampire Miles Morales for you. Awesome one. So, so yeah, even this stuff is similar. Same. Some weird magic stuff going on here. This is the same. Here's Miles. Same. It's cool because, like, basically Doctor Strange's body was infected. Like, he turned into a vampire. And so he quickly went into astral projection mode and then, like, cast the spell to capture his regular body, which I thought was a cool, like, use of Doctor Strange. So he's totally, like, rabid and, like, blood hungry here. But then he's here talking to the heroes, like, in his astral form. Like, oh, yeah, so matter of fact. And then this is Blade's daughter. I guess she's a new character. I mean, she has her own series and stuff. She's okay. I don't know. She kind of has that typical, like, how do we draw a rebellious girl character? I know. Nobody's ever done this before. We're going to color her hair a different color. And then we're going to shave one side of her hair. So here, this is a great example. In the explicit version, they have this double page spread. A lot of people are impaled, bodies. I mean, this isn't super graphic. And then this is the newsstand or the regular version. Another cool drawing, but it's not a double page spread. And I actually love that head. That blade head's awesome. So yeah, that's kind of the difference. It's cool. It's kind of cool. I actually like it better when they do it and it's like an action sequence is happening. That's where you really see the difference. But this is the same page. See, they're just talking. Blah, blah, blah. Talkie, talkie. This is the same. Blah, blah, blah. Same. Talkie, talkie. This is the same. So yeah, not much action for them to deviate with making it more quote unquote explicit. And to be honest, the stuff that they show in the explicit version, it's not really that explicit compared to what I've seen in comics before. So it's a total gimmick, but I've committed to it so far. So I feel like I'm not going to change. I think I'm going to get all 5 issues like this. So these are the same. Sam Wilson, Captain America page is the same. I feel like I'm young compared to most in the chat here. Yeah, probably. Emo trash. She did. More into my old soul allegations. That's okay. You're keeping us balanced, keeping us young. We need you here, emo trash. Late Saturday afternoon also had... Yes! Oh, I was a huge fan of the WWF. Loved it. Loved it. Because it was almost like comics, but like live, right? Like real people. So, and then they even came out with a cartoon with the WWF. I remember one of my favorite characters was Jimmy the Superfly Snuka. That guy was amazing. Then obviously Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, those guys. Yes, I love the WWF. I'm Gen Z. Oh boy. Wow. My stepsister is a millennial, I'm pretty sure. There's 9 years between the two. Oh gosh. Weekend cartoons and commercials where I'm totally playing with you, emo trash. It's great. It's great that you are the age you are. This is just what you do when you're old. You just groan at the young people. Weekend cartoons and commercials were great when I was a kid. Not sure which day Star Blazers. That was a great show. Battle of the Planets, amazing. Aired, but it was in the afternoon, not early. I know at one point they were going to remake Battle of the Planets. And I had seen some concept art for it too, and it looked cool, but that was like many years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, but it never came to fruition. Yeah, love those. Love those shows. John just posted a link. Reagan and the Age issue. Oh gosh. There was a purple M&M? Never. Gem there. Yep. Gem and the holograms. We were talking last stream about the movie Wicked, which is being directed by this director named John M. Chu, who did Crazy Rich Asians, one of the most successful movies of his repertoire. But one of his biggest flops that he did is he actually did the remake of Gem and the holograms. He redid it. I never saw it because I felt like it was going to ruin my childhood. Not that I loved the show, but I did watch it. And yeah, I heard it was bad. And I've read interviews with him being really depressed when it came out because he was super excited about that movie and then it totally bombed. Not surprising. Technical term, talkie-talkie. That's what they talk about. Blah, blah, blah. Words, whatever. I'm here for the pictures. This is interesting. Again, okay, so this is the explicit version on this side. This is the regular version on this side. Is this really explicit? I don't know. I didn't read it. It's about people getting killed in, I guess maybe like people getting killed in Hong Kong and Johannesburg. Maybe they're talking about political things. And so it might be quote unquote explicit like for other countries. I don't know. But really, it's not that explicit. So I was like, that's not worth the explicit label. I haven't read the dialogue, so maybe what they're talking about is really explicit, but I doubt it. Weird magic is the best kind of magic. That's right. I do recommend reading. Speaking of Mark Miller earlier, he has an ongoing series called Magic Order, which is pretty cool. It's basically like all the magicians in the world, or not all the magicians, but the top magicians in the world being part of this inner circle that protects Earth from magic attacks. And they can only get involved when it has to do with magic. And so it's a little bit of Harry Potter, a little bit of Avengers into like a cool story, Mark Miller story where people die, and it's really good. So I read, I think the first volume of Magic Order was really good. So I recommend that if you like magic stories. Also, sometimes around the end of the 80s, they started doing more light action kid shows I disliked heavily, except Carmen Sandiego. I remember Carmen Sandiego because of Rockapella, were the dudes who did the theme song to that, and they would come on and sing. Oh man, I'm really dating myself now. Carmen Sandiego was kind of cool. It was a cool concept. They did a remake of that one maybe like 5-6 years ago, which was really stylized. I know that the team that designed, they're called Chromosphere. They're an animation design studio, and they redesigned Carmen Sandiego, made her kind of cooler and more stylized. It was a neat. But there's something about that original show. It was great. Didn't that happen back when he fought Dracula? What part? Hello, Forsaken Sandwich. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Welcome here. Great name. Didn't that happen back when he fought Dracula? Who? Was it in the Blood Hunt book? Sorry, I missed that question. But welcome anyway. Sorry I missed your question. Feel free to drop it again in the chat. I'm totally, if this is your first time here in my chat, you will know, and everybody here can attest, it takes me like 70 years to get through the chat because I like to read everybody's and comment on them. So I'm a little behind in catching up to your question. John, you and I are twins. I too am eating while watching Rocky stream. Awesome. So you pay extra for them to not censor it. No. Wait. Yes. You pay extra for them not to censor it. Censoring takes extra work, so extra free work. It's a total gimmick. I mean, I think they must say like, okay, we got to change 10% of this book. They're talking to Pepe, like, you got to do 10% more extra, and then we can sell it twice. but it worked. I think it's better. Like issue 1 was really good with the differences between the explicit and the normal version. Issue 2 was pretty good too. This one feels a little lame. Moving along. It's the same. These characters were all really cool characters. Great designs. Central Park, New York City, same. See, no change. And that's it. So it was only like, I don't know, 4 changes maybe. I had to pay an extra $1 for those 4 changes. Well, technically an extra $6 because I bought a whole nother book. But, you know, I committed this far already, so whatever. Well, there you go. Blood Hunt 3. There are manga with naked chicks in them and gore, and those aren't even wrapped in... I know. That's why what they called explicit here was like, really? Is that really explicit? Not really. John eating Freddy's. Not the most healthy, but still delicious. What's Freddy's? Oh, what's Freddy's? I started groaning at the younger generation before I made it out of high school as well. The underclassmen were often rude and entitled. Yeah, it's just it's your rite of passage. It's that get off my lawn kind of mode. Every stereotype of... Oh, hang on a second. I gotta let my cat out. Every stereotype... All right. Of an old person... Don't make me stop this car. All those kind of things. They all come true. Sorry to say that. Rocky's going to start talking about new aches and pains, plus what he could do before, but not now. Oh, I know. Let me look at some... I had mentioned earlier with Mark... I don't know if Mark's Music Obsession is still here. I mentioned earlier about... some Rocketeer stuff. Let me pull out some of that stuff. Okay, so... Okay, let me catch up on the chat, and then I'll do the Rocketeer stuff. Carmen Sammy says, yeah, not sure what that is. Like a cheeseburger? Just throw stuff together and hope it's edible. Yeah, that's what cooking is. Butter and seasoned sauce fixes everything. It's true. John, it's a restaurant fast food. Oh, Freddy's. Yes, I'm eating a cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. That sounds good. Who is this Forsaken Sandwich? Sounds good to me, Forsaken Sandwich. We have Freddy's. They like a ripoff of Friendly's ice cream and other stuff up north. Oh, interesting. Doctor Strange back with Gene Colan. Oh, yes. Wait. Were you in my other stream when I talked about that Gene Colan Doctor Strange thing? Because I had that book. That was like the first issue, I think, where Blade first appeared. Wow. That's good knowledge. If you weren't in that first stream. Yeah, I have this book on Gene Colan with that Doctor Strange that I got from the Cartoon Art Museum. So here's some Rocketeer stuff I have. Here's like the original. Oh, does this one have? No, this one. It's one of my original copies. Look at that. Have I shown this before? Look at that. Dave Stevens' signature. Met the guy. Super nice guy. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. This was one of the pages in that video that I zoom in on the Cartoon Art Museum video that I zoom in on. It's so crazy to see it here printed and to have seen the original in person. Obviously this one's colored, and the colorist on this is, check this out, kind of cool. Joe Chiodo, who he colored all of like the original Wildstorm stuff when Image first started. He was one of the first colorists there, and it was kind of revolutionizing color separation, computer colors. But who are the assists from in the coloring? Bruce Timm. Yes, that is the Batman the Animated Series Bruce Timm. Brent Anderson, who was the artist on God Loves Man Kills, the X-Men graphic novel from the late 80s, I want to say. But crazy that they're color assists for Rocketeer. That's super cool. And then Jaime Hernandez, who he's one of the greatest independent comic artists, who's does the series called Love and Rockets. But I guess he was buddies with Dave Stevens. This is awesome because Dave Stevens looks exactly, I don't know if you guys know much about Dave Stevens and Rocketeer, but he looks exactly like Cliff, the main character. He draws himself basically as Cliff. And then Stevens was a huge fan of Betty Page, the pinup model, and so he put her in his book. But yeah, this is awesome. Awesome. Rocketeer is highly recommended. I feel like Dave Stevens crossed the bridge, or like, not crossed the bridge. He connected the bridge between the classic artists like Eisner and Russ Manning and Wally Wood. And then, but he was also, great friends and an influence on contemporary artists like Walt Simonson, Frank Miller, Jeff Darrow, all those guys. And so he rode this fine line between the two eras in his artwork. And the guy could just draw like a mother. I mean, like, this is amazing, beautiful stuff. His craft was so good. And I remember seeing these for the first time and just being blown away at the artwork. But then seeing them in person was like amazing. So I'll pull out the artist edition here in a second. Hello. And what a great design. And he really was a pioneer as far as, owning the rights to his own original character. And he never sold Rocketeer. Always. I think that's what really kept him going, was being able to own his own creation. And people respected that a lot. And I think it was like the inspiration for those guys in Dark Horse and Image Comics to for the artist to not only write, but also own their own creation. Amazing stuff. So yeah, there was these 2 volumes, this New York Adventure and then this one. And it originally came out through First Comics, I want to think that was the company that produced it. So, yeah, these are amazing. Look at that Betty Page. My gosh. These are amazing. And then I have this cool little thing. I forgot that I had this. I don't know where I got this. But this cool little like postcard art. It's an interesting image to put on a postcard. But yeah, they just pretty much, whoop, we'll cover that up. Printed up panels from the book into this postcard art. Pretty neat. And then, I love that image. It's so iconic. Then, this is the, oof. My gosh, it's 5:19 already? Holy moly. This is the artist edition, which I'll back out a little bit. So, just show you a few pages from this. One of my favorite artist editions. But like, yeah, this is like staring at the original artwork. It's cool. You can see it's like the blue lines underneath here. And this is that original page that I saw in person. So cool. So weird. And you can see like the paste ups with the dialogue here. The zipatone. Let me zoom in. It's worth it. Beautiful. What are you guys talking about here? Cheeseburgers, Freddy's, Forsaken Sandwich. He got turned into a vampire and astral projected. Have him a time limit to try to cure himself. I think he involved the name of one true God or something. Huh. That's cool. Yeah, maybe they're referencing that story. It's really cool. It's like a cool idea. And maybe it was that Gene Colan one. I know that first appearance of Blade was Gene Colan was drawing that. Forsaken Sandwich says, we don't all know each other. No, someone says, I don't know John either. John could be John F. Kennedy for all we know. Oh, boy. Mark's Music Session is here. 7-Eleven. Nice. That was 11 minutes ago. That's how far behind. See? That's how far behind. I've seen Forsaken Sandwich around. He is good. Awesome. I love it. New people. There we go. We are welcoming of all sandwiches here. All sizes, shapes, and colors of sandwiches here. I love sandwiches. One of my favorite form of food. Let's see. Okay, what are you guys talking about? I'm just a giant Gene Colan fan. The spooky stuff. Okay, so did you see that book? I don't think you saw it. I will show you. Okay, let me zoom out again. And if you haven't seen it, if you didn't see it in my previous stream, I got this book from the Cartoon Art Museum. And it's worth showing you if you are a Gene Colan fan. Oh my gosh, where's that book? Here. They had an exhibit there. I didn't get to see the exhibit, but this was the book that they came up with from the exhibit. And it's really cool because I love looking at original comic art. It's so beautiful. That's why I'm a huge fan of these artist editions. And as seen in that video in the intro of my show, I went to the Cartoon Art Museum recently, and they had a Rocketeer exhibit. That's why Mark's Music Obsession was bringing up Rocketeer. And here we go. This is the Tomb of Dracula with, I guess it wasn't Doctor Strange, but it is Blade. But yeah, this whole thing is Gene Colan. Love it. So good. It's like a fold out. Beautiful. Wow, I don't think I even looked at it. I missed this fold out. I really wish I could have seen this in person. I guess at the time they did this exhibit, which was many years ago, Gene Colan was still alive, and so they brought him to the museum, and he was there for the opening. I wish I could have been there. That's great that you're a Gene Colan fan, though. He's amazing. There's the dude. Yeah, one of my favorites is, I love this. I love this image. Stormwatch, so sad went south. How is the weather in Navarre? 6% power. Cool that Rocketeer is in 1938. My mom was born in 38. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know why he picked that time period. I don't think Dave Stevens was born in 38. I don't think so. But I know he loved that time period as far as comics and the kind of characters that came out of it. But this artist edition is incredible. It's really good. They've come out with several editions because it was so popular, but just like the scans. Whew, look at that drawing. My gosh. His ink work is second to none. Brush work in particular. Like he was a brush inker. And so amazing. So much appeal. So much craft. Love it. They have some great pages in this lot. And there's this one, he had a crossover here with the shadow. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite Dave Stevens drawings. Look at that drawing. I mean, come on. Here's the shadow. He always like kind of highlighted his nose, which was awesome. I love the way that Dave Stevens drew hands too. And I've never seen anybody, oh, I love this. I've never seen anybody do Rocketeer better than Dave Stevens could. This page is unbelievable. It's got the oh my gosh, what are they called? It's like Alfalfa and Our Gang. Gosh, my memory's so bad. This is another thing that happens when you get into your middle age emo trash. Your memory goes. Look at this. Just the level of craft is stunning. I know that some of these later pages, like he had some help from, like Arthur Adams helped him out on some stuff, and Jeff Darrow did. You can see one of these pages, you can kind of tell where they helped out. Like this was definitely Arthur Adams' page. These characters and the way that he rendered these poses was very Arthur Adams. And the smoke. Beautiful. Anyway, this is an awesome book. And there's that picture again. If you are a fan of Rocketeer, I highly recommend this book if you love the artwork. We're talking about Freddy's. I have never heard of Freddy's. There's a new chicken place that's gonna be open. Raising Cane's. Have you guys heard of that chicken place? Oh, one more thing. Rocketeer. Okay, I've never seen anybody do Rocketeer as good as Dave Stevens. However, this was kind of a cool take because I love Chris Samnee's work. He has an artist edition coming out, a Black Widow artist edition that he did. But Chris Samnee has a nice classic style to his work. And he did a whole miniseries of Rocketeer. Nice black and white. He's a fast artist. He's done work on a lot of things. Thor, his big thing that his creator-owned book that he came out with 2 or 3 years ago was called, oh gosh, is it Fireproof? Man, I'm just not prepared today, guys. Definitely off my game. Samnee, Firepower. Yeah, Chris Samnee did. And he also came out with a kids, kind of a young adult kids graphic novel called Jonah. Jonah and the something monsters, I don't know. But here's a cool thing. Oops. Whoa. I just yanked my headphones out. I have this many years ago. Sometimes if you, speaking of like newsletters and Substack, like I had mentioned at the beginning, at the top of the stream, Chris Samnee has a newsletter that I'm subscribed to. He doesn't write that often, but it does connect him to his customers. And that's how I found out that he was doing, like he was having a sale on, every now and then he'll do like, he'll go on this crazy binge of like drawing these ink drawings like every day. And he'll just crank them out like one a day and he'll post them. And then at the end of the month or the end of the year, he'll sell them. And he was selling a bunch of his stuff. And I saw this Batman that he did. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. So yeah, this is an original Chris Samnee drawing. Isn't that beautiful? It's a great inker. Just a great artist. Has a nice simplification of style, which I always love. Like a nice shorthand. And so, yeah, he did this Rocketeer story. And it's cool. Is it Dave Stevens good? No, but it's still good. There's dinosaurs in it. Pretty cool. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see his take on Rocketeer. And they've had a bunch of people do different takes on Rocketeer, but Dave Stevens is the best. This is neat. See some of his layouts. You guys know I love this kind of stuff. Oops. Yeah. Pretty cool. So yeah, it's kind of my Rocketeer haul for you, Mark. 2 new places near us, Waffle House, Whataburger. Good choices. I'm a December 1968 model. Okay. A little different than Betty Page, but, you know, right there, right next to her, Mark. Usually gets it through a grapevine, knows a guy that knows a guy. Have not been to a Waffle House. Really? You've been to Shant's Waffle House, right? But Waffle House is right there with like Denny's. I actually would choose Waffle House over Denny's. My dad calls those old dudes in town the cronies. I'm scared to ask how old your dad is. Because he might be as old as me. Uh-oh. King Louie's out. He's out. Emo trash. About to compete for your mom's attention with Louie. Let's see. Run! I just see that scene from The Birds. Dave Stevens. You know, in The Birds, I saw some documentary, something about The Birds, the Hitchcock movie, The Birds. And they actually, like, for some of those shots, if I'm not wrong, they actually taped some of those birds to the actors so that they couldn't fly away, and them like poking at the actors was real, like was a real thing because they felt trapped. So I thought that was really messed up. That was before they had any laws about how you treat animals for movies, obviously. John says Dave Stevens, Shant in 3, 2. Yeah, 195 for those postcards. Crazy. He's not screaming at the moment. Now he's like sitting in curtain rods to look out windows. Oh, he does bite though. I don't know. Birds, man. Scary. Does he bite hard? Emo Trash says sometimes he has drawn blood. Jeez, that would be the end of it for me, for a bird, if it drew blood. But I know you can't go against your mom's love for that pet, so. Okay. I want that book. The Gene Colan one? Yeah. So I got that from the... Whoa, something just dropped. Did I break something? I got that from the Cartoon Art Museum. Let me look if the Cartoon Art Museum... if you can buy it from the Cartoon Art Museum, if they sell it. Store. Museum catalogs. They have a Rocketeer catalog out now too, which was not done yet when I went to see the museum. I was talking to that guy Andrew, and he said, yeah, it's coming out in like a week or so. So hey, check this out. Forsaken Sandwich. You can buy it from their store. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So if that was what you were talking about, you can buy that Gene Colan from their store, and I think you can get it delivered. So how about that? Okay, wait. I think I'm catching up. No, I'm not. He bites my face. Have you seen Gary Martin? Yes, I have. Actually, one of the books I have is the original version. Excuse me. Ugh. The original version of the book that he just recently crowdfunded. Let me get it. I didn't get the new one that he was advertising or selling on Fund My Comic, because I already had this one, and I think there's some similarities to it, but I don't know actually, to be honest. But yeah, they don't make this book anymore, and this is a great book. But it's Gary Martin and Steve Rude. Yep, check this out. I love it. All these little prizes. I got Steve Rude to sign this book. But the cool thing about this was they talked about inking. Look at this self-portrait of Gary Martin. That's awesome. 1997. Holy moly. They, talked about inking, the tools that he used, and kind of the techniques, which is great, awesome. Nobody had done this before about comic book inking. And then they got a bunch of different inkers to come in and do their versions off of, I love this part of the book, off of a penciled page by Steve Rude. So here's the pencil page of one of Steve Rude's creations called The Moth. Beautiful penciled page. And then they got these inkers, Mark Farmer, Gary Martin, Joel Rubinstein, Carl Story, and William Stout, legends, to do their versions of the inks off of that page. I don't know if this is the exact reprint that Gary Martin was doing in his new inking book. like if he's just printing this exactly as it is, or if there was some other stuff. But I love this part because you could really see how each inker treats the same penciled page differently, and the little tricks of the trade that they would do, and just their different takes was really cool. And he did that for a number of pages. So here's a Nexus page, and they got Terry Austin, one of the legends, obviously Gary Martin again, Tom Palmer, Steve Rude himself inking his own page, great idea, P. Craig Russell, another legend, and Scott Williams from the Wildstorm era. So, and then they'd interview them and ask them like, oh, this is how I did it, and I used this tool, and this is why I picked this, and why I made that decision. Like here, Gary Martin used some like dry brush techniques for the blast here, but then like Scott Williams used like, you know, different hatching, some splatter. Totally looks like a Scott Williams ink page. So anyway, it's really cool. And this one is Brian Bolland, holy moly, Rudy Nebres, a Filipino artist, Kevin Nolan, incredible inker. Mark Schultz, and then Dave Stevens is one of the inkers too. Wait, did I get? I could have sworn that. Yeah, check it out. I got Kevin Nolan to sign his page. That he inked, and I love like you can look at the difference between Kevin Nolan's, like how much he added in his own shadow and lighting here versus this is Rudy Nebres or whatever, but. It's really cool. It's a great resource. And then the best part at the end is they actually included a blue line of a Nexus page for you to practice on yourself, which I didn't do, but anyway, pretty cool. So yes, John, I do know Gary Martin's ink work. Talking about Louis still. He bridges cartoony and realistic. Yeah, Gary Martin's, he's a master. He's one of those legends, old school, that has just done it all. He equals David Stevens. Who knows when Rocky will read this? Oh, Dave Stevens is also bridges cartoony and realistic also. Yeah, I'd say he's definitely more realistic, but his expressions and designs, the exaggerations that he picked, it wasn't so stiff as some of those guys that he grew up looking at. So awesome one says Canes is good. Is it? I've heard a lot about it. It's like chicken fingers, right? But Canes equals find a bathroom. That's how I feel about KFC. Never tried Canes, Raising Canes. Yep, that's the one. I think it's from Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're opening one close by here. Raising Cane's is all right. Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of hype. That was also one of the places my dad found out was coming to town and was right. Okay. Chat crashed. Did it? Oh, shoot. I hope not. Zaxby's. What's that? Zero muted. We have a Freddy's Steak Burgers pretty close to me, just down the road in Pensacola. Oh, okay. Freddy's Steak Burgers. I've never heard of it. Steak burger. Can't go wrong. Zaxby's. Never heard of that. That sounds alien. Like Zaxxon. And I think awesome one. I think you were talking about Roxxon in chat last time, and I was like, what is he talking about? And then I saw, after I rewatched the stream, I realized that it was the name of the ship that was in that original page I was showing. So you're hilarious. I'm slow on the uptake, guys. Steak and Shake, I remember that. They all went under. We got five. Yep, we have Five Guys here. Five Guys is okay. I feel like Five Guys is a little overrated. We do have Sonic. I don't know Sonic that well. We do have a couple that are like a little farther out of the city, but the thing I know about Sonic is like the drive-in part of it and their shakes. All right, cool. I hope you can order that Forsaken Sandwich. That would be cool. If you're a big fan of Gene Colan, it's a great book, not too pricey. I'm as far north as you can get that is still considered south. Don't ever take me for no Yankee. Five Guys is forgettable. Sonic only if the only thing around. Yep. I mean, the big ones here are In-N-Out is very popular. I love In-N-Out. We have Super Duper. Very good. One of those like all fancy organic kind of thing, but affordable. Shake Shack. I feel like Shake Shack's a little overrated. My kids will say the same thing too. And then there is for the non-chains, there is a burger place here that's not too far from the comic book store I just went to. It's called 4505 Barbecue and Burgers, and it's my favorite burger in the city by far. It's just like perfection to me. So if you guys are ever in San Francisco, look up 4505 and then go to Comics Experience. It's a great 1-2 punch for your stomach and for your wallet. Was watching Gary earlier and he mentioned the book. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I should look a little deeper in that campaign. I just assumed that he was reprinting a lot of the same content. But I love this book so much. It was really the first of its kind. And it was just a great resource. And it's not too... Like sometimes these instructional books can get too instructional and you're just like, yeah. So I found it really helpful. Not only the things that he included, the instruction that he did include, it was pretty clear and, similar to the like How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It felt like that same kind of practical training. But I really love the examples of the different inkers. I thought that was so informative for me as an artist myself, and just seeing the choices they make, and that there's no right or wrong choice necessarily. It's, they all had their different takes and different reasons, and also the tools that they used were different. So it's really cool. I'm going to choose to love you despite your opinion of Five Guys. It's okay. I mean, the thing that Five Guys I thought was different was like their peanuts. I don't know. It was all right. We have Sonic and McDonald's. Some local places. Everything else is like 30 minutes away. Okay. John loves Five Guys and Sonic. Five Guys fries are Five Guys fry. Really? They're okay. Yes, they do. They do give you a lot. That's true. Five Guys does have big portions. I think it was just so hyped up for me when I first tried it, which was many years ago. It was so hyped up. And then I tried it. I was like, yeah, it's all right. I definitely love... If I had to pick a fast food burger, I think I would go with In-N-Out. I love In-N-Out. Here's near awesome one. McDonald's, Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Marco's, don't know that one, Wendy's, and 3 Mexican places and a Mexican ice cream shop. So all pretty standard. I haven't eaten at Pizza Hut in a long time. Also Sonic. Checkers. Oh, I have heard of Checkers. R.I.P. So after, total random fact, but did you guys ever watch that documentary Super Size Me? The guy who produced and directed that documentary just recently died, which was very sad. But ever since I saw that documentary, it kind of did what it was supposed to, where it made me not want to ever eat McDonald's again. However, I do love McDonald's sausage egg McMuffins. As horrible as they are as far as health-wise, they are so good. I think those are perfection. Fuddruckers, I've heard of them. We're just talking about food now. No more comic books. Nope. That's okay. McDonald's as a whole has gone downhill in my lifetime. That's the same as good. I used to be a huge fan. One of my first jobs was in Boston, and the roommate I had in Boston, we were hooked on the McFlurry. It was like the first year it came out. And so during lunch, we'd always get a McFlurry every day. And I thought it was just genius that the spoon was part of the mixer, and then they detached it and gave it to you. I love the McFlurry. Oreo McFlurry was the best. This is a fast food stream. It is. I only get McDonald's breakfast now. Sausage egg McMuffin, so good. I could eat one right now. But then after I eat it, I can't usually eat anything else the rest of the day. It's like my body's like, that's it. That's all the calories and fat you need in one day. Okay, more. Don't eat McDonald's, period. Yeah, I used to love McDonald's fries, but again, after watching that documentary, they did this, at least in the DVD, they had this special at the end. It wasn't part of the original documentary, but they had this special at the end where they showed he put a McDonald's burger in this like glass jar, like sealed, and then he put like a I can't remember if it was another fast food place, but it was like another brand burger in a sealed container, and then one from like a local burger shop in another container, and then like one home prepared burger. And then they filmed it or they check in with it like after a day, after a week. And so like within the first couple days, that like homemade burger was like moldy already and like decomposing. And as you can imagine, the McDonald's, all the other burgers kind of progressively started molding and kind of growing fungus or whatever. And the McDonald's burger didn't change for like weeks. It looked the same. But the crazy thing is they also did it with some fries, McDonald's fries. And like, I kid you not, I think he checked on that like months later and they looked exactly the same as when he put them in the first day. And that's when I was like, okay, I don't think I need to eat those fries anymore. They are not supposed to do that. So it was really bad. More food talk. We live in Dahlgreen, Virginia, a Navy base, and when we traveled to DC, we ate at Fuddruckers or Bojangles. Oh my gosh. There was a document. Yeah, it was called Super Size Me. He did Super Size Me 2, which I didn't see. His name was, man. So I can think of these things faster when I'm not streaming. Morgan Spurlock was the name of the guy who did Super Size Me. He had just died recently. Very sad. And it was really bad because the premise of the documentary was he was just talking about how unhealthy McDonald's was, but the way he showed it was he had these certain rules. So he had to eat from off of the McDonald's menus, I think for them a whole month straight. So for breakfast, lunch, dinner, would eat McDonald's. And anytime anyone behind the counter would say, would you like to supersize that? He'd have to say yes. Like that was his rule. And it was just to go to show that like the marketing of McDonald's is really to get you to supersize, to get more of this junk in you. And it's really fascinating because he was a relatively healthy guy when he started. And as he started eating McDonald's for the whole month, like his body changed dramatically and his internal organs started shutting down. It was really frightening. So it made waves when that documentary came out. It made waves. He got a lot of like cease and desists from McDonald's Corporation, but then that's when it really forced them to start making things quote unquote more healthy and to like say what the ingredients were and all this kind of stuff. So it's fascinating. I recommend it. It's a good documentary. Really good. He did another one. Morgan Spurlock did another documentary many years later called Rats. That one was disturbing because it was basically about rats in all different parts of the world and how they are seen by different cultures, how they are treated by different cultures, whether it is as vermin, as much of they are here in America, or they are revered in other cultures, or food in other cultures. But it also showed how crazy resilient they are. And I think one of the stats was like there are more rats in New York City than there are people, which is disturbing. Yeah, I would almost call that a horror documentary. It was frightening, called Rats. Comrade Sammy says, oh no, oh wait, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Morgan Spurlock. Thank you. Yep, that's him. Yeah. Rest in peace. I don't know how he died. There was a lot of controversy with him, maybe within the last 10 years. I guess he had some sort of inappropriate relationships or somewhat with one of his employees. So he soured in the public eye based on some poor choices he made in his personal life. But he made some really entertaining and good documentaries. So I'd watch both of those. Both Rats and Super Size Me were great. Spurlock died from complications of cancer. Oh, okay. Friday said he died in upstate New York, while the New York Times said he died in UCO. Yeah, he was a New York guy. I hope that cancer wasn't because of McDonald's. At the time, I don't think he was still married to her when he passed away, but at the time, his fiance, when he did Super Size Me, I think she was like a vegan chef. And so to see her, at the time, fiance go through what he did, she was so, like, they'd kind of cut to her and interview her a little bit, and he'd talk to her on the phone during the documentary, and she was really, really distraught and torn up by it. Because he was basically eating what was against everything that she believed. So, yeah, it was kind of this interesting juxtaposition. Crows, I think, are the smartest birds. All right. That's great. People have done the same with soda, right? I've seen people put teeth. Yep. I think I've heard that soda can like strip like tar off tires. It's very bad. Soda's bad. Bad soda. So much sugar in soda. Oh my goodness. This turned into some crazy stream. So anyway, there we go. Those were the comics I picked up this week. That was my Wednesday. It was a pretty good haul. Whoops. Pretty good haul. Blood Hunt. Aint No Grave. I recommend. Transformers. Get into it like my friend Lang. Geiger. All the Ghost Machine books. Totally recommend those. And anything Rocketeer is awesome. Anything Gary Martin, Art of Comic Book Inking. Awesome book. Good stuff. I do have few things coming that I just recently ordered that I'm pretty excited about. So those will probably be turning into unboxing sometime soon when they arrive. And yeah. There was an interview that that's my stomach, excuse me. There was an interview that or somebody I was planning on having on the stream that I was telling you guys that I got connected with, and I totally dropped the ball on that one. So yeah, that was one thing that after the stream, I have to reach out to him again. He's not in this country, so there's a little bit of a time difference between us. So, but I dropped the ball on that one, and I've got to get on trying to get him on stream. That's definitely a big one that I want to get back on to have somebody on. So, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Ooh, Big Seed Oil starts again. Yeah, I know. I got to eat. I got to get going somewhere, and I got to eat soon. So what am I going to eat in time? Oh, Mr. Monkey Boy. Oh, I'll show you something really quick. I told you I was going to pull something out for you. I will show you. This is how I'll end the stream. Okay, hang on a second. I will leave you hanging. Hang in there, Mr. Monkey Boy. Oh, that's right. I was actually thinking of pulling out some Frank Miller stuff because we were talking about him in a documentary, and I've got all this Frank Miller stuff that I want to like. We'll look at that next time. Frank Miller's awesome. Really quick. Mark's music obsession is Rocketeer style 30s, but in the Florida Keys, Maltese Falcon style. Now you have a book idea. That sounds awesome. Maltese Falcon. That's awesome. Yeah, all those kind of like, yeah, those like classic films, classic adventure films fits in with Rocketeer. So it's not Todd McFarlane. Here we go, Mr. Monkey Boy. Here's a BD for you to look at. You must be familiar with good old Jeff Darrow, who, to tie it into the what we were talking about earlier, he had a short cameo in the Frank Miller documentary because he worked with Frank Miller on Hard Boiled. Fantastic graphic novel. Frank Miller wrote it and Jeff Darrow drew it. And it was really Jeff Darrow's kind of coming out party. Like, people were like, who is this guy? And Jeff Darrow, he's an American artist who went and studied in France with Mobius, another one of my favorites. But this is a French book that came out, I think, while he was in France. They've since released an English version, I think, but this is the French version. Did I ever show this before, Mr. Monkey Boy? I don't know. Vespa Warrior. So Jeff Darrow does a book right now called Shaolin Samurai. Oh my gosh. What is the name of that book? Oh no. Shaolin Cowboy. And it's kind of this character, but he did this one a long time ago, 1995. This was before you were born, Emo Trash. Holy moly. That is old. But yeah, this is crazy. It's all in French, so I have no idea what's going on. But this is classic Jeff Darrow, like draw every detail on the page. Are you guys familiar with Hard Boiled? I have a few versions of that. I have the colored version, and I also have they call it the Big Damn Hard Boiled, which is like the large. It was almost before artist editions were done, but they printed it out large, at size, black and white version. And it's awesome because Jeff Darrow is so detailed in his artwork. Sorry, that's a little bright. He's very detailed in his artwork, so to see it at size is great. And I remember seeing his hard-boiled stuff when it first came out and just being blown away by the level of drawing in this. Shaolin Cowboy, yes. Can't say I'm surprised that it's older than you. Yeah, this book existed before you did Emo Trash. Before you were a glimmer in your mom's eye. Anyway, it's amazing. Jeff Darrow loves kaiju monsters, so he often includes them in his work. He also did a series with Frank Miller called Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot, which I also have. Maybe I'll talk about Jeff Darrow one of these streams because his stuff is incredible. He's consistently been amazing. But just that level of detail. I've seen interviews with him before. You guys can see a bunch of YouTube interviews with him. But he kind of doesn't draw on traditional comic size paper. He'll draw like bigger, or sometimes he'll just piece together different sheets of paper, and you can tell because the amount of detail he gets into his drawings is insane. Awesome one says, "Where's Waldo?" It's kind of like that. But it's really subversive and funny and kind of twisted and weird, and it doesn't explain half the stuff that he does. And Jeff Darrow is also one of the concept artists on the original Matrix movies. So like those like squid robots that would attack the humans, those were his designs. The chairs that the humans sat in, that they were plugged into, those were his designs. That's why there's all those wires and tech everywhere. That's all Jeff Darrow's stuff. Yeah, if we do a stream where we look at his hard-boiled, you can see a lot of the influence from the Matrix in there. I have that Art of Matrix books too. So anyway, there you go, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. It's a French edition, Bourbon Thret. This is not that easy to find. I found a cheap copy, but every time I look for it, it's usually really expensive. So when I saw the cheap version, I was like, wow, okay, cool. I jumped on it. So Louis has gone away, so now Lucky has come out. Who's Lucky? Oh, it's a cat. Oh, okay. Yay, cats. Oh, I got to feed my cats at 6. The bird scares the cat more that my mom doesn't want to take chances. Yeah, that's an interesting mix. All right, cool. There we go. There was the little French BD hit at the end there. And Mr. Monkey Boy approves. Yes, I've slighted you a few of these streams where I didn't pull out a BD when I said I would. So here you go. Glad I was able to indulge that. And I will have another one for the next time too. I'll make sure I kind of pull one out. So anyway, I got to go. It's already 6 o'clock and I got to be somewhere at 6:30. So I got to eat and I got to feed my family. And but I'm so glad I got to stream with you guys and see you guys all and talk with you all. Super fun. I kid you not, before I stream every time, I'm like, should I do it? I'm like, oh, am I kind of lazy to do it? But then every time I do it, I enjoy it. I've been a little bit of low energy today, but I think part of that has to do with the cough and everything else. But thank you guys for sticking with me and looking at what content I had. Make sure you go to your comic book store and pick up something new. Enjoy the Wednesday, and I really appreciate you all showing up. John, awesome one. Mark's Music Obsession was here. Mark's Music Obsession is glad you did this, Rocky. It's been a rough week. I'm sorry to hear that, Mark. I really hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'm glad we could just kind of shoot the fat, and that's a weird phrase, shoot the fat. Where did that come from? Where's the origins of that phrase? I'm going to look that up. But yeah, just got to chat, talk about stuff we love, and just go where the chat takes us. So I'm really glad that you showed up. Glad you were first in stream. That'll show up in the credits. But just glad for your presence here and always supporting me. So thank you so much for coming. I'm glad I could pep your day. I hope the rest of your week goes well. You know, it's good we have tomorrow, right? It's good. Mercies are new every morning, as they say. So I'm really appreciative that you're here. So Mark's Music Obsession, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969, Shelby stopped in here, American Discord, awesome one, Emo Trash, the youngest in chat. Of course, the chat ninja comrade Sammy. Forsaken Sandwich. It was so great having you here. I hope to see you again. If you haven't subscribed my channel, please do if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, that's okay. We'll see you around anyway. Who else was here? Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. Cranberry Landers didn't show up. Where's that dude? Disappointed. Shanth didn't show up. Where's that dude? Disappointed. No, Shanth was streaming day. It was a full stream day. So anyway, I think I got everybody. But thank you guys all for coming. Please like the stream if you haven't already. In your crazy Discord channels, John, bring in more people. We'd love to have them. We're on our way to 250. So it'll be great to have more people in here, like Forsaken Sandwich. And I think that's it. So hope things... Comrades... Emo Trash is the derailer of stream. Yep. We went into talking about food. Fun talking about food. All right, chew the fat. Chew the fat, not shoot the fat. What the heck? That means moving your mouth. That's right. Chew the fat. Chew the fat. All right, everybody. Have a good day. I will see you next time. Take care. Credits. See you later. Bye-bye.